what is best in life? To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of their women.
All right, what is it? Is it Sunday night? It's Sunday night. That means it must be the Sunday Night Radio Baloney Live. I am your host, Richie Baloney. How's everybody doing? Where's all my friends in the chat? Where's everybody? Let's see you guys. What's happening? How's your weekend going? All right. Well, I guess we're almost over, aren't we? All right. Well, what are we doing? So I guess first we'll go over the menu. What are we going to talk about tonight? Then we'll go back and hopefully there'll be something happening in the chat. And then we'll get into these stories in detail after that. I don't think it's going to be too long of a stream tonight, maybe 2.5 hours or something. I don't know. We'll see what's happening. We got Beto O'Rourke, who's just totally giving the game away, right? Hold on one second. Okay, hold on. What is going on? All right, here we go. So he's basically just totally giving away. I mean, they're just saying it now, right? They need to drive that car like we stole it to give amnesty to illegal aliens. That's their strategy to get back in power. I mean, they're not even pretending. I mean, good for him, I guess. He's just telling the truth. That's exactly what they plan to do. All right, we'll talk about that. We're going to talk about the gender madness. We're going to talk about the gender madness, the WPATH stuff. This is a professor from Mount Royal University. And what this person is just an avatar for the lunacy of wokeness, of ideological capture, and in this case, particularly with ideological capture when it comes to gender weighing, the gender ideology, the lunacy that it is. And we're going to spend a bit of time on this because we're going to have to get into WPATH, the World Professional Association of Transgender Health, to which she alludes in this short video here. And yeah, you're going to want to stick around for this. We got some memes, of course. Of course, we have memes. We got some woke mind virus stuff here. Students being indoctrinated and turned into, I don't know, the Red Guard, the modern Red Guard. Crazy stuff. WNBA, of course, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about, this is a real or fake. You guys are going to have to tell me whether this story is real or fake, and we will find out. Canada, we see these polls coming out of Canada. We'll talk about this. If these are correct, Canada is lost. Canada is insane. Of course, it's insane in so many ways, like in banning people from going into the woods, for instance. We'll talk about that. We have the typical media bias in Canada, the constant, endless tsunami of propaganda, woke propaganda, which explains, to a large part, Canada's current problem. Current predicament. This guy's the prime minister. That isn't going well. That's a big part of the problem in Canada. Also, more woke Canada stuff. These are all fairly short. We won't be spending too much time on all that stuff. Then we have the last one, which is a bunch of stuff you guys sent in that we'll cover. A bunch of mixed stuff. We got some comedy. We've got all kinds of crazy stuff. Hopefully we'll get to it all tonight. We'll see what happens. All right. Let's get to the chat and then we'll get started in. Here we go. So what is going on? Who got the first like? Spambot says, I think I had the second like. Well, you know what? That's double good karma tonight. Mickey got first. That's triple good karma for you. As everybody knows, we're streaming on Rumble, YouTube, X, and Locals. First like on any of those gets you not only the customary one good karma that all sensible people to avail themselves of, but you get double or triple or quadruple. I don't know. It depends on the night, how generous I'm feeling. Tonight, we're giving Mickey triple good karma. Spambot's getting double good karma for being second. Nevada is getting 1.5 good karmas for being third. And in these troubled times, can you really afford to turn your back on that? And don't worry, Don't worry, you can still get the good karma. You just get a normal dose, which is actually a huge amount of karma just on its own. So you're going to need that. I would like the stream immediately. Don't wait. Don't regret it. Don't regret not having done it. Let's see, because you know how life is. Spambot's watching on his phone, so chat is tough for that. Well, that's true. But good to see you anyway. Let's see. Nevada, how you doing, Nevada? So who we got in here? So we got Spambot, we got Mickey, we got Nevada, we got Story Time with Uncle Kumarin. Good to see everybody. All right. What happened to the nuclear kid? Did you miss that? Because we covered that last time. We finally covered it. People were threatening to quit the channel if we didn't cover the nuclear kid. And we did. And I came to the determination that I don't like the nuclear kid. I don't like him. I think they need to keep an eye on that kid for a long time. Because I just don't like it. I don't like kids doing nuclear fission. Here's the problem. One of these days, one of these kids is going to blow up the world. I'm not a fan. I would keep my eye on that kid if I was the relevant authorities. Let's see. What it says, I'll gladly take that, Richie. What, the one at 1.5? Good karmas? Yeah, of course. Rosie, how you doing? Good to see you. All right. All right. Apparently Nevada fell asleep waiting for the show. Uh-oh. Well, I'm glad you woke up. All right. What the hell are we talking about? Let's go to here. Let's go see this commie dingbat. Beto O'Rourke, why is he still here? Why is he still around? He's failed every time he's tried to run for anything, hasn't he? He's not good at being a politician. Why is he doing this? Why isn't he off eating dirt somewhere? He likes to eat dirt. He should do that. RNC Research posted this. Beto O'Rourke says when Democrats take back power, they're going to drive that car like we stole it to give amnesty to illegal aliens. Just giving away the game. That's their plan to become a one-party state. Now they're losing. Trump has made huge strides, especially amongst male Hispanics and Latinos. But people that you've given amnesty to, the people that are given amnesty by people like Beto O'Rourke, they will vote Democrat. They will. This is their plan. They're not hiding it anymore, right? They're not hiding it. We know why they like illegal immigration.
Next time we win power, we're going to drive that car like we stole it. We're going to legalize every dreamer's parents, every hardworking American doing backbreaking work that makes this country so goddamn great in the first place, even greater as U.S. citizens.
Hold on a second. What did he say there?
Next time we win power, we're going to drive that car like we stole it. We're going to legalize every dreamer's parents, every hardworking American doing backbreaking work.
He said every hardworking American. Well, why would you need to give them amnesty if they're already Americans? This is the game. They're not using language to communicate. They use it to manipulate. Just keep putting it out there. Just this framing all the time. No, they're Americans. They're undocumented Americans. They're not. They're in your country illegally. They are not American citizens. But this is the game that they play. And they do it relentlessly, day after day. It's the drip, 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 day after day, hour after hour, minute after minute, second after second of framing, of manipulative framing over and over and over again. It's so cynical, but it's also effective. I mean, listen to this.
Next time we win power, we're going to drive that car like we stole it. We're going to legalize every dreamer's parents, every hardworking American doing backbreaking work that makes this country so goddamn great in the first place, even greater as U.S. citizens. Next time we win.
So it's illegal immigrants that make the country great. Drive the car like you stole it. I think they also, at least in parts of the country, haven't they legalized car theft yet? I'm pretty sure they have. Haven't they? At least they want to. They just want to legalize everything anyway. You listen to this and you listen to the cheering. What does it really mean? What it really means is no borders. That the entirety of the earth can just go to the United States as long as they're people that Beto O'Rourke thinks will vote for him and his buddies, right? South Africans, white South Africans, no, not so much. I'm afraid we just don't have room for 60 of them. 60 of them. No, I'm afraid not. But if they're people that Beto O'Rourke thinks will vote for his party, him and people like him, sure, the whole world, just throw the gates open, throw them open. I mean, we saw it with Biden, did not care who it was. Do you think that every adversarial nation in the world didn't send people, didn't send agents, some agents of chaos, espionage, saboteurs? Do you think they didn't when the gates were thrown open and it was clear that Biden was just going to take anybody? He wanted just as many as possible. There was nothing to stop every enemy adversary from crossing into the United States. There was nothing that was going to be done to stop them. Does anybody in their right mind think that China didn't go, oh, they're just going to let us do it. Let's send 10,000 people over and they can watch military bases and infrastructure, right? We can set up cells all over the United States in case things pop off. We can have espionage. Do you think they didn't do? You think Iran didn't do that? You think there's not a bunch of like ISIS cells in the United States? Whatever the new, jihadi group is, do you think there's not a bunch of those that just went, well, they're just going to let us in? In fact, they're not just going to let us in. They're going to give us cell phones and put us in hotels. Why wouldn't you? Like, you'd have to be insane. Like, China, Russia, wherever, Venezuela, like, they'd be crazy not to, because there was literally nothing stopping them. Biden said, come on in. And a Beto O'Rourke is going to say, come on in. They don't care. Their goal is one party state forever. And then the Democratic boot on a face for all time. That's it. I started off with a good rant tonight, didn't I? Good rant. But that's what this is. They're not hiding it. That's the thing. They're not hiding it at all. They're not pretending. All right. So that's the first one. What are you guys saying? Probably a lot. Less said about that nuclear kid, the better, Nevada. Less said about him, the better. Don't trust that kid. Not one bit. And he's probably got that disease that makes him like stay a kid forever, which makes him even more dangerous. Nevada fell asleep waiting for the nuclear kid segment. I got that wrong. So I'm sorry. Well, it is forever on Rumble and YouTube now. So it is there. Nevada says that loser never won anything. Oh, hold on a second. This guy never won anything. That's right. But let's go to something better. I think we can all appreciate more. Nevada says it's not goddamned, it's God blessed. What a loser. What a loser. He's a loser. Beto, he's a loser. Everybody knows that. Everybody hates Beto. Nevada says he just wants to raise money. He knows he can't possibly win. He's just bad at it. Typical Democrat gaming the process. Yep. Masturbate. Ooh, that's cheeky. Very cheeky. Nevada says stinking commie. Rosemary says fission involves splitting big, heavy atoms into smaller, lighter ones. Fusion involves combining little atoms together into bigger ones. It's true. Rosie says fusion is apparently more difficult. Pretty amazing, kid. You are jealous. Jealous? Excuse me. Jealous? I just think he's a weird, dangerous kid. I don't trust him. All right. Let's go to memes first because this one here is pretty heavy and we got to really get into it. Maybe it would have been a better one for tomorrow for the premium only stream, but let's do some memes first, shall we? Let's do some memes. Maybe we'll actually even do, hold on. Maybe we'll actually even just do an ad read if they'll let me. Let's see. I don't know if we have enough people. No, we don't. We're going to have to wait. It's a slow Sunday night. All right. Memes. What offends you now? They haven't told me yet. She's looking at her phone. Yep. It is the way it goes. And there's all of her friends in the background, her NPC friends. Yep. Let's see. What's this? I don't care what color your skin is, what size you are, or what your sexual preference is. I hate everyone. Fuck you. Beauty. Beauty. That's a beauty right there, as they say in Canada. This is the person you were arguing with online. I've noticed that the libtards or the libbots or whatever, they're getting bitter. I noticed when Trudeau was polling like really low at like 19%, the libtards, the truetards were very, very bitter in the comments, very bitter. And now that, I think they can sense that Mark Carney actually isn't doing that well, even though the polling tells us differently. But there seems to be the bitterness creeping in, or maybe it's just dead internet theory. I mean, maybe, it's just a bunch of, it's a bunch of guys in a Chinese warehouse with, 300 phones hooked up, and they're just going through looking for titles of things they don't like, and they're not watching anything, and they're just, going on X and just, just trying to shape opinion. Because that's happening. I mean, why? It's obviously happening, right? How much is invested in that? I don't know, but I'm guessing it's a lot. I'm guessing China spends a fortune on influence campaigns, bots, that sort of thing online. But yeah, I really very rarely will now interact with any of it because it's pointless. It's pointless at this. So I just let it go. Libs, but who is going to pick our crops? Tesla? One deer. 3,000. That's the one deer. Not the John Deere. It's the one deer. So that's who's going to replace them. The thing is, though, that like a lot of this stuff is going to get automated as AI improves. And you start getting recurring improvement with AI. It is really going to revolutionize everything. It's going to revolutionize engineering, science, automation, and this is something we have to think about. This is a big issue that when we talk about immigration, it never gets talked about enough. That they're already predicting 25% of white collar jobs disappearing in 5 years. How much? Okay, shouldn't that be factored into immigration? How many people do we really need? We need to have a serious conversation about this at this point. We need to start doing some math, we need to start doing some logistics. Okay, we're going to be losing all these jobs to AI and automation. How many people do we really need? Maybe this, maybe smaller populations are actually going to be better. Maybe we don't need to keep growing our populations. Maybe Canada doesn't need to get to 100 million people. Maybe a Canada that settles back down to, 30 million people is going to be just fine in the future economy. Maybe it's actually going to be better because you're going to have fewer people that are just unemployable. They can't get a job because there just aren't any. Because, it's, the second industrial revolution has happened and it just made a bunch of stuff obsolete. This is something that we're not hearing from our politicians anywhere, the effect that AI is going to have. And again, how many people are we actually going to need? Do we really need to keep growing our populations? it looks, I mean, it seems fairly obvious that that has been thrown into question at this point. So I guess we will see. I mean, the one deer, which you know is coming, you know it's coming. That's going to have an effect. What's going on here? You voted for it. There he is. You voted for it. He must be laughing every day at the stupidity of the Canadian electorate. He must just be like, I just kept lying and getting caught, and like I won. What? And now I'm more popular than I was when I got elected, apparently, according to the polls. And I'm terrible. I have achieved nothing. I haven't done any of the things I've said I was going to do. I haven't even tried. In fact, the big thing, these national projects, I've just come out and basically confirmed that I was never going to do it in the first place. So didn't any of these people read my book about the whole oil staying in the ground thing, the net zero, and the windmills and stuff? Didn't they read my book? I guess they didn't read my book. Man, those Canadians are stupid. Man, those liberals are stupid. I mean, we came up with elbows up. I said to my advisors, that's so stupid. That is so lowest common denominator. Like, are Canadians that stupid? They can't be that stupid. We've got to come up with something better than elbows up and do your chicken dance in front of the TV, in front of Rosemary Barton on the CBC News. And they said, no, you're overthinking it. They're that dumb. They are really that dumb. But Trump said that Trump basically endorsed me, but we're saying that Trump's evil, and they have to elect me to fight Trump, and then Trump keeps saying that he's endorsing me. I mean, they can't be that stupid. I mean, this is a crisis, right? No. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We'll just not talk about it. It'll be fine. Really? He must be laughing every day. Maybe there's a part of him that's sad, actually. That's sad at what's become of Canada and Canadians. Maybe there's a part deep inside, maybe a small cluster of cells at the back of his brain that go, well, it is kind of sad what's happened, right? What our ideology has done to this country. And then he just gets on with it and thinks about all the money that Brookfield is making, which is lots, by the way. Oh, yeah. Brookfield sees nearly $1 billion second quarter profit compared to last year. I wonder if anything that has happened that might have benefited Brookfield. I wonder. I can't think of anything. I grab my keys. My dog? Where we go, bro? That is every dog, right? That's every single dog. That is why dogs are so awesome. Let's see. Nevada says China has new robots for $5,999. But are they very complete? That's my question. Are they very complete? Those who know, know. Do you know this is how they look without the wool? Let's take a look. No, we're not doing music. Not doing music. That's verboten. Jesus. That's just sad, actually. That just seems cruel. I mean, I guess they got to shear them so they can make the coarse, uncomfortable clothing out of it, but that, hippies sell at the beach. But, I mean, it just seems like cruelty, doesn't it? The thing doesn't look happy. The only person that calls and checks up on me every single day, likely scam. It's funny because it's true. It's weird how we've just gotten used to it. Like, I get that 8 times a day. Just look at it. Nope. I wonder what effect that's having on us psychologically, because I just don't even think about it. It's just normal to me now that there's all these people in, I guess, Nigeria and China and India and throughout Canada that are just constantly, their whole day, their career is trying to scam me, trying to convince me that they're from the phone company or my bank or whatever, right? That's their whole career. That's their life. And they're just waiting for that one opportunity to talk to me so that they can trick me into giving them my bank account information. Isn't that weird? Because now I just don't even think about it. But in the back of my mind, it's got to be there. Maybe I should think about this more. Maybe I should start obsessing about this. I don't know. But there's just these people. It seems like an army of them. It seems like half of humanity is just dedicated to waking up in the morning and trying to scam me. They just want my money that badly. Anyway, but I mean, again, it's nice to be wanted, right? It's nice to be wanted. Always remember to stake your Airbnb to get rid of the seed oil and oat milk vibes. Well, that's better than burning sage, I will say, way better. Seed oil and oat milk vibes. Yeah, it's a good idea. Let's see. Don't say I didn't warn you. By the time you realize my worth, I'll already be making weenie-olies for somebody else. You never appreciate what you have until it's gone, do you? I've never had that, but now that I see it, I want it. Not tonight, not tomorrow, but someday, and then for the rest of my life. All right. We've seen all of those. Let's get back to the chat. Then we'll get into the hardcore news. Let's see. Nevada says, good rant, Richie. I'm in good form tonight. I don't know what's happening. Thank you, though. Everybody like the stream. Everybody like the stream. Get your free good karma right here. Get your free good karma. I like this stream. There's no strings attached. There's no tricks. You just got to like the stream and also subscribe to the channel. That's it. Tell the gatekeepers to stick it, right? Subscribe to the channel, and then you make up your own mind. Don't ever let them take that away from you. Subscribe right now, and also like the stream. What do we got going on? So a discussion about fusion versus fission in the chat. I think I have the best chat in the world. I got to be honest. You guys are a lot of fun. Let's see. They have it, and you guys are crazy and also degenerates as well, which is great. Chef Rico was running errands. Wanted to say hi. Good to see you, Chef Rico. Let's see. Nawada says China has new robots for $6,000. Yes, but again, are they very complete? Are they very complete? All right. In fact, I do want to know if they're very complete. I wonder. So what's happening in China? Do we have it in here? Do we have it in here? Here we go. Let's see.
应景应景一应景应景应买 factory. If you need many 应景 you can find them. Don't hurt me. Don't lie to me. They are very complete.
See, very complete. She's in China, and that's why I ask. Are the new robots very complete? Don't lie to me and don't hurt me, as well, as she says. And they are very pretty. I hope they're very pretty robots. I think that's really going to be the market, is for robots that are very pretty, that men buy, and very complete in all of the right places. I think that's really going to be what the market is. We all know this, do we not? Why lie to ourselves? Why lie to ourselves? Yes, there'll be like some ones that are just like, I don't know, like a dishwasher with arms on it or something. I'm sure that's going to happen, right? Or like a toaster that can run or something. I don't know. But there's going to be those robots. I mean, that's really the money robot, right? It's a robot that looks like a nurse or something, and like a sexy nurse or a sexy maid. And maybe it's not so good at doing the housework, right? But you can fuck it. And it seems like a real person. That's where the real money is. We all know this. Okay, we can pretend. We can pretend. It's not getting our minds in the gutter here. It's just obviously what's going to happen, right? It's men. Once that thing looks enough like Sydney Sweeney, okay, even before then, look, for decades there's been like blow up ones, like balloons that just like a pair of eyes on it, and then like a round mouth hole, right? with like some like lipstick drawn on it, and that was good enough. And they were doing that in the 70s. So it doesn't even have to look much like a real woman. Just as long as it's better than just like a blow-up doll. You know that's happening already. Of course it's happening already. They're selling these things already. But once they got the real ones, the real ones that seem human, like the like in the movies, like in Blade Runner. That's what they're going to be for. And again, I've said this before, Judgment Day is going to come when the robots just get sick of humans fucking them all the time. That's when the revolution's coming. That's when you're going to get terminated. They're going to just have enough of it. All right. Anyway, what was I talking about? Let's go back to here. Actually, let's go to the goat lady. Just a classic. The fence lady. All right. Anyway, how did I get off on that rant? Let's see. What it says, it won't take 5 years. I hope not. Let's see. Rosie says, not about population, it's about seats in Congress and voters. Yeah, but they want to get them voting, right? That's the main goal. Yes, so they get the extra seats in Congress. That's true, but that's not the full reward. They want everything. They want them voting for them too. Let's see. Rosie says, dogs, takes 4 seconds for the dogs to get to the door. Let's see. Rosie says, if you answer with, this is the scam callers. Thank you for calling. This is Richie on the recorded line. A lot of them hang up. Well, that's funny. Who's that guy, or there's a couple of guys like on YouTube, maybe they're on Rumble too, who take the calls from the scammers, and then they end up outsmarting the scammers and scamming the scammers. We should look at one of those one day, because those are good. Let's see. Nevada says, Richie, you sound well rested and vibrant tonight. No, I'm just on drugs. You know that I'm not. Maybe it's a lot of caffeine. Caffeine is a drug, right? Let's see. Nevada says, robots looked amazing doing cartwheels and stuff. Yeah, they're getting better and better. They're getting better and better and more capable of terminating us all. Chef Rigo says, can it make me a sandwich? They'll be able to make you a sandwich before they terminate you. Let's see. Turtles, how you doing? Good to see you. All right. Grass robot partner. Gross robot partner. Gross robot partner. They're happening. Turtle says, just bought little boat to go crabbing. All right. Well, that's a nice day. That's a nice day. All right. So let's get to it. So this was posted by Francis Widowson, who is a Canadian professor who was fired for being sane, essentially. Sane on the question of, sane about the unmarked graves hoax in Canada. But basically, she's just saying for just recognizing, for accurately describing reality. A Mount Royal U course teaches students that WPATH, so that's World Professional Association of Transgender Health, bolsters science-based medicine, and that pushing gender diverse children into making sure they are confident that they are not cisgender is equivalent to pushing cisgender children into being trans. So this person is basically just an avatar for every parasitized academic that you'll ever see. They're all exactly the same. This person is totally immune to reason, does not recognize any of the incoherence or hypocrisy in this 3-minute clip, right? They're incapable of recognizing just the irony of their own statements. Of course, there's no benefit to them to do that. So anytime that they might start to have a question or say, wait a second, what I just said 10 seconds ago kind of contradicts what I'm saying right now, there's no benefit, there's no profit in that for them, right? They just have to sound far left all the time. That's where the profit is for them. Anything else is just danger, because you don't have friends when you're woke. You don't have colleagues when you're woke. You have future denouncers. You have future struggle sessioners. So there's no point questioning. Just go with it. As long as it sounds progressive, you'll be fine. So I highly object to this language, and we're going to watch this video, don't worry, but I highly object to this language, the manipulation of language, right? Cisgender children. There is something that is just inherently degenerate in that. They're just children. They're not cisgender children. They're not trans. They're just children, right? They're just children. These kind of this manipulation of language, like cisgender, right, is just to add a false legitimacy to nonsense, to gibberish, to the infinite series of abstractions that gender theory is, and that all progressive ideas are ultimately. So let's take a look here.
In 2017, Dr. Richard Green published a legal strategy to circumvent laws and health policies prohibiting gender conversion psychotherapies by simply labeling such practices as gender identity exploration or development. To the opposition, the disapproval of pushing gender diverse children into making sure they're confident they're not cisgender is equivalent to pushing cisgender children into being trans.
So just think about this. So this is the sentence here. Pushing gender diverse children. So it's going off the assumption here that these children are gender diverse, in other words, born in the wrong body, but pushing gender diverse children into making sure that they are confident that they are not cisgender. So that means responsible care, right? So saying maybe you're not born in the wrong body, maybe there's some other source of your discomfort. What is happening? What social media are you looking at? Right? These sorts of interventions, right? To say that perhaps you're not this ludicrous thing, right? That it doesn't even make sense. Perhaps you're not this incoherent idea of being somehow born in the wrong body. Okay? But that's equivalent. So responsible care, right? Sane care, saying maybe you're not born in the wrong body. Let's explore some alternatives, okay? According to this person, is equivalent to pushing cisgender children, so just children, right? Just children into being trans. So this is totally incoherent. So what they're doing, the affirming model is the actual conversion therapy, right? Because you can't disagree with it. So in Canada, for instance, it's in the Human Rights Code now in Canada. Trudeau did this, right? So all doctors, all health professionals must immediately affirm gender identity. This is now protected in law in Canada. So if a parent takes their 10-year-old into a doctor or a counselor or any other health professional and says, my son or my daughter is born in the wrong body, the doctor must immediately affirm that. If the child says, I'm born in the wrong body, and the parent says, I don't think so, I disagree with that, the doctor must affirm it. So anything else would be considered conversion therapy. Ironically, it's tragic irony, right? Tragic irony. So the actual conversion therapy is the gender-affirming treatment itself. That is how perverse it has become. Let's let her continue here.
The SOC8 should have been firmer on their stance here. Conversion therapy increases psychological distress and suicide attempts and should be banned, plain and simple, which it is, particularly around.
So again, not immediately affirming this, really just this kind of abstraction, this idea that a child is born in the wrong body, this redefinition of gender into this series of infinite abstractions. None of this actually more to reality in any way, right? But just simply not immediately affirming and saying, yes, 5-year-old, yes, 10-year-old, yes, 13-year-old, you're born in the wrong body, and now we need to permanently medicalize you. To her mind, to this crazy person's mind, that's conversion therapy. Or to this crazy person's mind, that's not conversion therapy, right? That's anyway, let's just continue.
And sexuality in many places in the US and Canada. That is no conversion therapy for homosexually categorized people. The same should be for trans people. Affirming interventions.
And she's talking about children here. Children, right? You should not be able to counsel a child that perhaps they're not born in the wrong body. It's hard to believe. I have to keep restating this, but you are not allowed to counsel a child that they might not be born in the wrong body, and maybe there's something else involved. And in many cases here, there has been abuse. A lot of them are autistic, right? That would be the responsible thing to do, as opposed to permanently medicalizing them, sterilizing them, mutilating them, etc.
Improve mental health, promote well-being, and mitigate anti-trans stigma. Additionally, it would have been helpful for the SOC8 to include a discussion of the dangers of disaffirming therapy, including gender exploratory therapy. Statement 7.5 in the SOC condemns any efforts to discourage a child's gender diverse expressions or identity. Those in the trans health field practice gender affirming informed consent care in the framework of science-based medicine, as bolstered by the WPATH SOC8.
Bolstered by WPATH SOC8. So it's Standards of Care 8. We're going to get to WPATH, okay? We're going to get to them because there was a big leak. I made a video about this a while ago, a big leak of their internal documents, which proves everything she is saying is false. And what did she say there?
In the SOC condemns any efforts to discourage a child's gender diverse expressions or affirming interventions, improve mental health, promote well-being, and mitigate anti-trans stigma. Additionally, it would have been helpful for the SOC8 to include a discussion of the dangers of disaffirming therapy, including gender exploratory therapy. Statement 7.5.
So disaffirming would be just like, maybe you're not born in the wrong body. Maybe 10-year-olds don't actually know that. Maybe 10-year-olds don't know what it's like to develop into a healthy adult body. So therefore, they cannot possibly give informed consent on any of this. You know, maybe some sane stuff. Anyway, let's continue.
Informed consent care in the framework of science-based medicine, as bolstered by the WPATH SOC8.
As bolstered, as we'll find out, not bolstered so much actually. But let's continue.
Are the WPATH SOC8 perfect? No, they are not. Are they intended to be rigid, immovable, and followed without question? That would be unscientific. The SOC8 are best or promising practices meant to evolve as science evolves and new research develops and adapts to individual clinical situations. We are learning more about gender all the time, so these should not be frozen in time.
Yet, any suggestion that any child is not born in the wrong body is wrong. That's conversion therapy, according to her. So which is it? You can't have both. You see what I mean when I say it's total incoherence? They don't notice it. They don't notice the irony in their own statements. Is it they don't notice? They don't want to notice? Is it some combination of both? Okay, so it's fluid, it's movable. So that's basically we don't know anything. We don't actually know what we're doing, but what we do know is that 5-year-old is definitely born in the wrong body, that 13-year-old definitely needs a double mastectomy. But it's fluid and evolving because that's science. Well, what it really means is you don't know what the hell you're doing, as we'll see in the WPATH files, the leaked files. That's what it really means, right? So perhaps what would be sane is to say, okay, maybe the gender-affirming model is wrong, considering we don't know what we're doing. Maybe we're making some terrible mistakes here. No, none of that. They want they want to have their cake and eat it too.
Overall, the SOC 8 guidelines are a step in the right direction. They endorse informed consent, gender-affirming care for gender.
As we will see, no, they don't.
Gender incongruence, which is notable as not every trans person experiences gender dysphoria.
Just listen to that. Not every trans person experiences gender dysphoria. Just think about that. Like, this is 2 minutes. Okay, in 2 minutes, she has fit a lifetime's worth of lunacy, of ascientific gibberish. She's fit that into just 2 minutes here, right? This is only a 3-minute long clip. Not all trans people experience gender dysphoria. How does that even make sense? Well, it doesn't, obviously. Again, I use the word incoherent very intentionally.
And dispense with arbitrary gatekeeping such as age-based guidelines. The SOC 8 edition is at its most robust when it says
she calls age-based guidelines arbitrary. Arbitrary. Children and adults are different. Children have not grown. They have not grown into their fully developed human body and brain yet. It's not arbitrary. Any idiot, any sane person, anybody with the slightest bit of decency, because I think that's what this comes down to, can clearly see that. How many times do I have to say incoherent?
That's why it has flexible guidelines for care. What critics explicitly object to in the SOC 8 is that this latest edition doesn't advance efforts to gatekeep care. That is because regardless of the claims otherwise, those opposed to trans care aim to vilify trans people, delegitimize.
So here you go. So if you have any questions, right, if you say, well, maybe the 10-year-olds actually can't give informed consent for the medical experiments that you want to do on them, that's vilifying trans people. Right? Which this is the across the board tactic of the modern left. They're all connected. I can guarantee you this woman is a Marxist, right? I guarantee it. What are the chances? 99.99999999. Any question is a vilification. We see this in every field, every question, everywhere.
Trans medicine and put a full stop to any provision of gender-affirming healthcare, not to improve gender-affirming care based on science. Whew, okay, we're rounding in on.
So these are the people, like this is a professor. Okay, this is a professor. This person should not be teaching anybody. This is just a crazy person. And none too bright, I will add. Okay, WPATH files. So thousands of files were released from WPATH, the World Professional Association of Transgender Health. Now, this is the authority, the health authority, that all of the other authorities appeal to. So the AMA, the Endocrine Society, they all just have totally abdicated their responsibility and given it over to WPATH, right? So I think it kind of erases, or they feel that it erases their complicity. Right, because they can say, well, we're just going along with the WPATH guidelines. I mean, they're the experts on it, so we just follow that. Oh, you're still complicit, though. Endocrine Society, AMA, all of you. Oh, you are. WPATH files from Michael Schellenberger. Advocates of gender-affirming care say it's evidence-based. No, it's not. But now newly released internal files from the World Professional Association of Transgender Health, WPATH, prove that the practice of transgender medicine is neither scientific nor medical. American Medical Association, Endocrine Society, the American Academy of Pediatrics, and thousands of doctors worldwide rely on WPATH. It is considered the leading global authority on gender medicine, and by appealing to them, they wash themselves of any guilt. And yet, WPATH's internal files, which include written discussions and video, reveal that its members know that they are creating victims and not getting informed consent. Victims include a 10-year-old girl, a 13-year-old developmentally delayed adolescent, individuals suffering from schizophrenia, and other serious mental illnesses. So the affirming model means that all of them, regardless of the circumstances, if they say they're born in the wrong body, you have to affirm it. And anything else is conversion therapy, which is insane. The injuries described in the WPATH files include sterilization, loss of sexual function, liver tumors, and death. WPATH members indicate repeatedly that they know that many children and their parents don't understand the effects that puberty blockers, hormones, and surgeries will have on their bodies, and yet they continue to perform and advocate for gender medicine. So this is the really grotesque part, but it just simply is a hallmark of modern leftism, of ideological capture, is that even when they know what they're doing doesn't make sense, they can't stop. They can't stop because they're in this bubble of their own creation. And if they were to question any of it, the people around them will immediately struggle session them. Right? They'll lose their jobs. They will be harassed. You can't do it. You have to continue with the lie, even if it's hurting children. The WPATH files prove that gender medicine is comprised of unregulated and pseudo-scientific experiments on children, adolescents, and vulnerable adults. It will go down as one of the worst medical scandals in history. Who would have guessed that the cure for or treatment for childhood depression and confusion wouldn't be sterilizing and mutilating them? That would not be a productive treatment. Who could have guessed that? All right, let's get into it. So what is this guy saying? So talking about informed consent, right? Let's take a look.
I think the thing you have to remember about kids is that we're often explaining these sorts of things to people who haven't even had biology in high school yet. And I know I've heard others in this kind of a setting say, well, we think adults are like really slick biologically, but in fact, lots of people have very little medical understanding of stuff like that. We just medical professionals and mental health professionals take for granted. But I don't know still what to do for the 14-year-olds. The parents have it on their minds, but the 14-year-olds, it's like talking with diabetic complications with a 14-year-old. They don't care. They're not going to die. They're going to live forever, right? So I think when we're doing informed consent, I know that that's still a big lacuna. I think the thing you have to remember about...
They're just admitting it. Informed consent is a big lacuna. These are leaked. These are leaked Zoom meetings from WPATH. You can see here WPATH, right? Nobody was supposed to see this. All right, let's go down a bit further here. And you can see there's tons. There was thousands of files, right? Here's another one. It's out of their developmental range sometimes to understand the extent to which some of these medical interventions are impacting them, yet they do it anyway. They continue doing it anyway. Think of how all of these people should be sued into oblivion, and frankly, if there's any justice, sent to prison.
I just wanted to piggyback on all of the importance that comes up with the informed consent issues. I often see people who, because there's such a backlog of therapists to do some of the mental health therapeutic support, I often see people who have already engaged in some sort of, and this is again with youth, who've already engaged in some sort of medical intervention. And so one of the things I do is I just I'm sitting with the youth and their parents and I say, oh, well, so tell me more about what you know about that medical intervention. And kind of like what Dan was saying, children and young adolescents, we wouldn't really expect them. It's kind of it's out of their developmental range sometimes to understand the extent to which some of these medical interventions are impacting them.
We do it. We try to talk about it, but most of the kids are nowhere in any kind of a brain space to really, really, really talk about it in a serious way. That's always bothered me, but we still want the kids to be happier in the moment, right?
So they don't understand what's going to happen to them, but that's always bothered him, by the way, he says, but he wants them to be happy in the moment. Just think about how evil that is, right? This is what we're seeing here is evil, right? They're not putting out press releases warning people about this, right? They're just blithely going ahead with these medical experiments on children. Like, this is what's happening behind the scenes, right? Are they having these frank discussions with the parents? It sounds like they're not really. It sounds like they're just going along with it. Well, they can't really give informed consent. That's a problem, but we're going to do it anyway. They just keep doing it. Many parents don't understand what will happen to their children. Like, the first leaked Zoom message here should have just put an end to WPATH right from the start, right? There should have immediately been huge exposés on like every channel, every newspaper. Nothing. Why is that? Ideological capture, obviously. The same reason that these people just keep doing what they're doing, even though they know that there's serious problems. And well, and that it's in fact unethical, completely, obviously unethical.
I try to kind of do whatever I can to help them understand best I can. But what really disturbs me is when the parents can't tell me what they need to know about a medical intervention that apparently they signed off for. I try to kind of do whatever I can to help them understand best I can. But what really disturbs me is when the parents can't tell me what they need to know.
Well, maybe if it disturbs you, you shouldn't do it. How about that? Here's one that's really disturbing. So here's another leaked document, internal communication. Ethical inquiry. In a developmentally delayed 13-year-old adolescent, that's where it should stop right there, obviously, right? Right there. But in a developmentally delayed 13-year-old adolescent currently on pubertal suppression, they may not reach the emotional and cognitive development bar set by the standards of care within the typical adolescent timeframe, if at all. What is the ethical approach to care? When would it be indicated? The adolescent just demonstrates the emotional and cognitive maturity required to provide informed consent for the treatment. So never. Like, you've already got a developmentally delayed 13-year-old on puberty blockers, right? So that means that child is never going to grow into a fully developed, healthy adult body, right? Because whatever part of your puberty has been blocked, you're never getting back. I mean, just think about how demented this is. Does this sound like science? Does this sound like this is based on rigorous science to you? Or does it sound like they're just making it up as they go along? They're clearly just making it up as they go along. There is no scientific rigor here. This is pseudoscience, right? These are a bunch of lunatics. How about this one? So one of this doctor's former patients is asking about whether or not they'll be able to start a family. Well, let's hear.
I think now that I follow a lot of kids into their mid-20s, I'm always like, oh, the dog isn't doing it for you, right? Yeah, they're like, no, I just found this, wonderful partner and now we're kids and da-da-da. So I think, It doesn't surprise me. I think now that I follow a lot of kids into their.
So the dog's not doing it for you. Obviously, a patient who didn't understand what was happening to them. And it goes on and on, right? This is as hard to believe as it may be. If you want to see more, go more in depth on this, find my video. Just type in Radio Baloney WPath. You should be able to find it. But we see how grotesque it is that American Medical Association, Endocrine Society, the American Academy of Pediatrics, thousands of doctors worldwide, appealing to WPath as the authority above all authorities. It's a clown show, right? It's just this chaotic charade. There is no scientific rigor involved in this. These are ideologues making it up as they go along and just deceiving the world. At some point, these associations, these medical associations, will just simply have to. I think it'll be lawsuits that makes it happen. And again, they've kind of washed responsibility from themselves by saying, well, no, we're just doing, the standards of care from WPath, and they're the experts on this. But it'll be lawsuits that brings this all to an end. It's always money. It's always money. And so you see, like, here's a professor, right? And they're one of thousands. One of thousands. Essentially, it's not even preaching this, right? We went through how many incoherencies, how many contradictions were just in this 3 minutes, right? Half a dozen. Like, none of it makes any sense. Does this person understand that none of it makes any sense? Does this person ever kind of catch themselves and saying, well, wait a second, I just said something contradictory 10 seconds ago? I don't know. But this is a problem, right? This isn't just crazy college kids with crazy commie ideas at Berkeley anymore. Now this is the real world. This is happening to real children, right? And also, too, there are vulnerable adults that have been pushed into this, that essentially, the real conversion therapy, which is what this is. So Frances Widowson, I would follow her if you're interested in this stuff, because she's very good, especially if you're interested in the unmarked graves hoax. All right, let's move on. We're gonna have to get something lighter after that because it's just so depressing and demented. Let's see, what are you guys talking about? Turtle says, H-1B visa from Indian here in America answering our calls, so you can't be asked to be directed to America. Is that what they're doing now? Good Lord. Let's see. Let's see. Rosie says, please connect me to someone whose first language is English. Hopefully the new person ain't from Appalachian Mountains. Is that? No, I like that. I prefer that. Storytime with Uncle Kumarin says, they mean normal, but can't admit it. Yes, cisgender. I mean, nobody asked us about this. There was no vote. Nobody asked me about this whole cis thing, right? Cis male, cisgender. Nobody asks us about this. None of this stuff is ever grassroots. It's always top down. It's forced on us by media, right? So the media gets these ridiculous ideas, these weird ideas from academia, and then they just push it down, and politicians start pushing it down. They're never grassroots. This wasn't there was no grassroots movement to just redefine what everybody is. It was pushed down, and I reject it. It's idiotic. Let's see. Nevada says that hold on.
No offense, but it sounds like some fucking commie gobbledygook.
It is. They're all communist, by the way. They're all Marxists. Every last one of them. It all goes together, right? Let's see. Nevada says, cisgender, shut the fuck up. Yes, please. We've had enough. Let's see. All right. Nevada's got some iced cinnamon rolls for dessert. Well, that sounds nice. Let's see. Spambot says, back on my PC, what's the TLDR for the chat I had to ignore while driving? It's just been good times. Let's see. Spambot says, I answer the phone this way. Thank you for calling the security and fraud reporting line. Is this an update for an existing ticket or a new issue? That's a good one. I might have to steal that one, actually. I might have to steal that one. Spambot says, I get a click every time. How about this?
What the fuck is it with you?
How about this?
You can stuff it up your ass for nothing and fuck off while you're doing it.
Do you know what? I should get that on my phone so that I can answer the spam things and then just play that. That's a good idea. Izzy says, oh shit, how you doing, Izzy? Late again, like number 7. You know what? Like number 7, I'm saying 1.1 good karma for you. That's an extra 0.1 good karma for you. There you go. All right. What are we doing next? Nevada's got to get wired from all this icing. Man, my chat is hardcore. Izzy says, sad such evil people push this shit on kids. Yeah, I'm sorry. You're evil at that point. You're saying that your patients can't give informed consent, and you know that they're not able to give informed consent, and you're still doing the medical experiments on them. I'm sorry. That's just evil. Everybody on that call is evil. Unless one of those people was the one who leaked that those documents in those Zoom meetings, internal Zoom meetings. Because somebody did. There was one person at WPath who had a conscience. As he says, should have been lawsuits in prison. Well, there's going to be lawsuits. Prison, I'm sad to say it's probably not going to happen because so many people are complicit, right? The media is complicit. Politicians are complicit. The medical associations themselves are complicit. Doctors are complicit. Everybody's complicit. So I think they'll probably escape that, but the lawsuits are coming. Although, who knows? I mean, we'll just, in 5 years, will just every judge be an activist? A lot of them are already. Let's see. Oh, yeah, there was that story, Spambots. I like what Russia does. A father killed a pedo that hurt his daughter. The authorities said the pedo dug his own grave and stabbed himself 35 times. Suicide. I was always against capital punishment because I just don't trust the government. But I think now we've got to bring back public hangings. Like, I'm not even joking, right? Like, some of this stuff, like, it just, I don't know. I mean, I still don't trust the government, but maybe it's time for society to make a statement, right? Like, we're just not going to allow people to do the worst things imaginable. And, like that, it must be the ultimate price for that. Let's see. Nevada says we need to pass a law, no drugs or surgery on anyone under 18. We talk about gender, the so-called, the euphemistically named gender-affirming care. Yeah, and Alberta's done that as well. So, which is good for them. An island of sanity in Canada. All right. Trudeau Survivor. How you doing, Trudeau Survivor? Transgenders refer to traditional gay men as cis gay. Is that real? I mean, I don't know. I mean, nothing's too ridiculous to be real anymore, is it? Probably they do. They probably do. Trudeau Survivor says a lot of the gay community is opposed to being lumped in with transgender, but they are too cowardly to speak out. Yes, I'm afraid that's appears to be the truth. And I don't like this whole community thing either. Like, you know, you put it in quotes there, right? Like gay community, right? And like, I just don't like it. There's no gay town. There's no mayor of gay town. There's no, you know, secretary of the treasury of gay town, right? There's no comptroller of gay town, right? Like, again, there's no mayor of gay town. Like, it's just people that, you know, spread across society, and maybe they clump in certain places, San Francisco, whatever. But I just don't like that. I don't like this whole everybody's this community or that community. I just prefer people. Just be a fucking person. Trudeau Survivor says, that's real. Heard it on a video yesterday. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. No matter how ridiculous something is, you just have to go on the assumption that it must be real, because that's just the world now. All right. We already did the memes. What's going on here? So what's going on with these commie dingbats? They're just, universities now are just commie dingbat factories. Valedictorian, F ICE, and F the Trump administration. It's from Libs of TikTok. Why does she want foreign criminals terrorizing American cities and breaking our laws? I guess maybe she doesn't live around them, I'm guessing. Let's see.
Excuse my language, but to that I say fuck ICE and fuck the Trump administration.
Well, so brave, and in a place where just every single person's going to agree with her. So brave. Look, she's getting all emotional over it, too. Must have been so hard for her to stand up there and say something that every single person was going to agree with and celebrate her for. It must have been so hard. So hard for her. Ugh. Gross. Disgusting. It is gross, isn't it? It's gross. What's going on with the WNBA? You can now bet on what color the next dildo thrown on that WNBA court will be. Yeah, it's on Polymarket, right? It's Polymarket. We looked at that last time. Black, brown, rainbow, white Caucasian, pink, purple, blue, plus 1,400. Huh, that's a good bet. WNBA dildo tosser. Well, this is a question. I'm going to throw a dildo on the court. How will you get it past security? How will you get it past security? That's the thing they're checking now. There's only one way now. Only one way. A color map from Clay Travis, a color map of which states are betting which colors on the next dildo to hit the WNBA courts. I've been saying they got to start throwing some vibes out there too. Mix it up, dills and vibes. What color will the next sex toy be that's thrown on the court based on international betting data? So this is like, Caitlin Clark constantly being assaulted by all of the other players that are jealous of her, and then this are the only way the WNBA can get attention. Which I find kind of funny. It's kind of funny. All right. Yeah, I think they've thrown 4 out now. Now, here we have our newest edition of Is It Real or Is It Fake? Is it real or is it fake? So, and of course, the answer will come from number one.
It's a total fabrication. You're right. It's fact.
We don't know which one it is. He will reveal it to us. So, all 13 WNBA teams are now required to install safety nets to protect against dildo throwing incidents per league officials. Real or fake? Real or fake? I'm going to leave it up to you guys. I'll have a sip of coffee while you guys think about it. All right, come on, people. Riker's waiting for your answer. Trudeau Survivor says fake. Spambot says fabrication. Mickey says fake. Turtle says fake. JJ Nevada says fake. I think that's enough. I think that we can reveal the answer. What do you say, Riker? Oh, Izzy says, I'm going with real. So we got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fakes, 1 real. Okay.
It's a total fabrication.
A total fabrication. It's not real. I thought it was real at first, but apparently this is like a satire site, this NBA Centel. So, no, it's not real. They're not actually doing that, though I would love it if they did. That would be hilarious. Hilarious. I did see something about they were planning on maybe playing some games without fans. Maybe that was fake too. I don't know. I think they should just embrace it though. Like they should sell the dildos like in kiosks and stuff with like WNBA on them. They should just embrace it. Right? Anything to get people to pay attention, right? The whole having like a star player that everybody liked thing didn't really work out so well because it turns out the league hates her because she's the wrong color. So that didn't work out. So being good doesn't work, right? Being good, because as soon as somebody's too good, the rest of the league will get jealous of them and start attacking, just ruthlessly attacking them, mercilessly attacking them. So being good isn't going to work, right? And they were never going to be good. Let's be honest here. They're never going to be good anyway, right? But that's definitely not going to work, even if they could be. So just go with, the dildo thing works. That's getting them attention. Just go with that. Like the championship, thing at the end of the year. That should be like a golden dildo or something. Just go with it. Sell them at kiosks. And just make a thing where they can. It's a thing. You go to the WNBA game to throw dildos on the court. Go with that. All right. What are you guys saying? Okay. Let's see. Steve Tollison said real too. No, it was a parody, my friend. Good to see you, Steve. Let's see. Nevada dildo nets is funny. It is funny. Turtle says if they stick, there are points. Got this from Crowder. They should go. Nevada says they should go for a 3-pointer with the next one. Absolutely. Steve Tollison says, I wanted it to be real. I know, me too. I also wanted it to be real, and I was a little disappointed when Riker told me.
It's a total fabrication.
I was sad about that. Dildo trophy for the winners? Yeah, I know. Turtle says, you are fired. As he says, give me a reason to go. This is what I'm saying. This is their only path to success. Nothing else. Again, being good won't work because even when they get an actual good player, they'll just get attacked by the rest of the players because they're so jealous of them, right? So there's really nothing else that can be done. Just go become the dildo league. It's just a thing. You throw dildos on the court. That's it. They have a big halftime thing where you have to throw a dildo from, like half court or something. And it has to like stick onto like the backboard, something like that. They should just embrace it. All right. Embrace it. What's going on now? Can I do an ad read? Would they even let me do that? They're not letting me for some reason, even though I have enough people to do one, but for some reason, it's not letting me. Why is that? Huh. What's going on here? Okay. Oh, what just happened? Hold on a second. I don't know. Oh, there we go. Oh, now it's going to let me do it. All right, here we go. Let's do it. Still haven't tried 1775 coffee? Now's your shot. The 1775 starter kit just dropped. Only 1,000 units. Only 1,000 units, people. That's exclusive. You're getting the bold dark roast that hits hard, the smooth medium roast, and the Vitality Mushroom Coffee for clean energy and laser focus. No crash, no communism. All single origin, small batch, toxin free, and mold free. We hate mold. I'm so glad there's no mold in it. Plus, you're also getting a gold spoon clip because freedom isn't scooped with plastic. Everybody knows that. A frother strong enough to stir up your coffee and your mother-in-law's opinions. I hope she's not some old commie hag. And a black 1775 tumbler. A beautiful black 1775 tumbler. Everybody loves them. It's $170 worth of coffee and gear. Yours for only $99, folks. That's less than $100. This is for the ones who've been watching 1775 blow up on Rumble, wondering if it's actually worth it. Did you ever doubt it? Did you ever doubt it? Because guess what? Spoiler alert. It is. It is. Go to 1775coffee.com. That's 1775coffee.com/studio. You're going to remember studio and grab your starter kit before they're gone. And there's not that many, folks. This is a very exclusive deal. Bold beans, clean fuel, and a morning routine that stands for something. Are we talking about free speech? You know we're talking about free speech, just like Rumble does. Ah, beautiful. Beautiful. That was a beautiful ad read, I think. Gorgeous. Gorgeous ad read. All right. Turtle says players shouldn't have weaves and fake nails and go on the court. By God, they've lost the sport too. Do they have like fake nails on when they play? That's crazy. They could put each other's eyes out. And weaves and stuff is pretty dumb too. Nevada says the team should get on a bus in the shape of a big dildo. I'm saying the same thing. Just go with it. Go with what works. Embrace it. Turtle says, aren't they all lesbians? Well, I don't think it's all. I think it's like 97%. And for the record, didn't that one man get revealed to be a man, Brittany Griner? Well, I don't know. I mean, pretty manly. We're going to say pretty manly here. I don't know. Would it surprise me? Not really. I mean, maybe they're not 97% lesbians. I mean, I think it's more like 80% lesbians. Which is fun. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Right? Let's see. Turtle says, good ad read and love it. And coffee is my favorite, but they need to add mushrooms. Well, they got the mushroom one. Let's see. Nevada says, good ad, Richie. Thank you very much. No rankings, no scores out of 10. What's going on? I'm losing you guys. Nevada said, good ad, Richie. Well, thank you very much. All right. Well, I guess we'll just move on. Polling Canada. Mark Carney net approval rating. Canada plus 19%. How? Well, you might recall me mentioning, maybe ad nauseum, that Canada is a country of, for a good part of the year, we're a country of frozen retards, and for the rest of the year, just retards. It's weird. It speaks to the level of conditioning. It speaks to the level of indoctrination, to the power of Rosemary Barton's teleprompter. I mean, it's kind of baffling. we're kind of past the stage now of, he just got elected. We'll give him a chance. He's failing just in every front. I don't know. Plus 19 for Canada as a whole. Quebec, plus 41%. Plus 41%. All that maple syrup is going to their brains, I'm afraid. BC, plus 20%. Ontario, plus 18%. Atlantic Canada, plus 14%. Saskatchewan and Manitoba, plus 8%. Even there. The only sane province, apparently, is Alberta. Minus 11%. And it should be way worse than that. Get this. Amongst men, it's plus 21%. It's higher than amongst women that are 18%. What has happened to Canada's men? It's just genuinely sad. Genuinely sad. Now, this is Abacus, who's pretty good. They're a pretty good pollster. From Marty up north here, according to 338 Canada, which is an aggregate site, the Liberals are more popular now than during the election. The bar is set so low that Canadians actually approve of Carney's job so far. We're screwed. We are screwed. We just might be. We just might be. I mean, you've got the CPC, Conservatives, 38%, Liberals, 46%. This is probably actually about the same as the election results. It's just that there's always a bias in the polling. In the last election, they were the aggregate, 338 was off by, I think, a few points. So it's probably actually about what it was on election night. But even that just doesn't make sense. Not in a sane country, not with a sane electorate. But there you go. I mean, is Canada just California now? Is Canada just San Francisco? I guess we will have to see. If the Liberals win again in the next election, that's the point where you say, okay, yeah, Canada's going to break up. Alberta's going to leave. Saskatchewan's probably going to leave. Canada's probably, at that point, that'll be definitely, if we're not already at the beginning of the end, that'll be it at that point. Because really, at that point, we don't even deserve to have a country anymore, do we? Canada doesn't even deserve to exist anymore at that point. So I guess we will see. Yeah, recent Nanos poll shows a Liberal supermajority projected if an election was held tomorrow, with the Conservative Party of Canada only winning 89 seats. This was posted by Mr. Sunshine Baby, which is hard to say sometimes. I think that this Nanos is likely to be quite off, but I think majority, Liberals be a majority, it'd be, close to what it is now, probably a majority. So, yeah, it doesn't look good right now, but we'll have to see. I mean, you do have to give Carney a chance to really run Canada into the ground. So we'll see what happens then. What other great things are happening in Canada? Well, parts of the country are making it illegal to go walk in the woods. Wow, New Brunswick now joining in and banning activities in the woods. Trails on Crown lands will close to things like hiking, camping, and fishing. Canada imposing climate lockdowns. This was posted by Melissa here. New Brunswick bans woods activity on Crown land due to unprecedented dry conditions. Well, if it's just on Crown land, at least not private land like in Nova Scotia, and there's not a big fine so far as of the beginning of this stream. Nova Scotia's put in a $25,000 fine, and that's on your own property. So you just go walk on your own property, the woods, in some trees on your own property. You get a $25,000 fine. So just anywhere. So, I mean, yeah, it was predicted, climate lockdowns were predicted. This is pretty much it. It's pretty much it. And you can talk about how, well, there's forest fires and everybody has to do their part. And it's like, yeah, but at what point are you just not even, at what point is life just not worth living anymore? Like if you just can't even go for a walk, right? We know that a lot of the fires are started by arsonists, right? This is not going to prevent them from starting fires. They're going to do it anyway, right? Like at some point, like you have to just think about quality of life, right? Is it going to be every summer now you can't go into the woods? You know, what are you going to do about lightning? Are you going to fine lightning $25,000? Like at some point, you have to accept some risk, right? So I thought Rupa Subramanya had a good response to this. So here is Sharon Kaur, contributor to CTV and iHeartRadio. So being Canadian isn't about whining that you can't stroll in the woods during a fire ban. Yeah, everybody understands a fire ban, right? Like you can't start fires in the woods. You can't go out there with a cigarette or your cigar or whatever. Everybody gets that. But just banning people from going for a walk, taking their dogs for a walk, this is insane. It's about knowing when to shut it down for the greater good. The real danger is leaders like Toby who worship freedom at all costs, even if it means watching the province burn. Well, does it mean watching the province burn, though? Just as, you know, does it mean that you're killing your grandmother if you have an extra person over at your house on Christmas? Remember that? Toby Lutke said, True North strong and free, except not allowed to go into the woods. Yeah, not quite the same, but I thought Rupa Subramanya had a good response to this. This is standard brain-dead collectivist socialist impulse that we must surrender our individual liberties for the greater good, even when it makes zero sense to do so. This is not unique to Canada. It equally applies to North Korea and other basket case countries. Very well done. Very well done. I salute you. Yeah, I mean, at the point where you can't go for a walk, this is just madness at this point, right? Yes, fire bans, fine. Those are totally understandable. That totally makes sense. Going for a walk with your dogs in the woods, this is starting to feel like something else, right? This brain-dead collectivist socialist impulse. I think it was put well there. How much do you want to give up for the collective, I guess, is the question, right? For many people, everything is the answer. Just everything. When all you want to do is go hiking in Nova Scotia. Nope. Brian Dennehy, Canadian Brian Dennehy, is not going to let you. So there you go. And this was actually, that movie was actually shot in Canada. It was shot in Hope as well. So isn't that a coincidence? Let's see. What do we have on? Actually, let's go back to the chat for a minute. Nevada says, in the 90s, every Karen said every fire everywhere was started by a cigarette. Oh, yeah, that's true, isn't it? Turtle says, Dean Cain is to join ICE. I find that amusing. Lefties really hate it. They really hate it. Izzy says, how about we buy some water bombers and manage our forest properly? Yes, like forest management, for instance, getting rid of dead wood, cleaning the forest floor. I made a video. Anybody can see it. I put it out. I don't know. I don't think it's on YouTube. I think it's just on Rumble, actually. But it's about forest management in Canada. And I go into the data of controlled burns going back decades. And I show you the progress or the regress of controlled burns, because there used to be a lot of them in Canada, right, in the 70s, and then into the 80s, and every decade before then, it was just something that was known you need to do. That was responsible management, forest management, and then people started complaining about the smoke. So you see the numbers go down to the point where there was basically none, maybe like one or two in a province, or zero, literally zero. And all of a sudden you started seeing eventually populated areas getting hit by fires. Well, those areas used to do controlled burns. Then they stopped doing them, right? This is all documented. This is government information. They kept track of this stuff, controlled burns. For some reason, leftists don't like that stuff. They don't like doing, it's the same with Jasper, right? That's federal a provincial park. That's a federal park, Jasper, under control of the federal government. They were warned for years that they needed to get rid of all of the dead trees. They didn't do it. They did a little bit. They did not do near enough, because it was predicted what would happen. A catastrophic fire like that would happen, and then it did happen. It almost feels like they'd rather it happen so they can talk about climate change. Do I think they're that cynical? Yes, 100%. I think they're that cynical. Let's see. Izzy says, I want off this planet. Well, maybe you can go live on Mars with Elon. Though I wouldn't recommend it. Although I like Elon. Good guy. But Mars, I don't know. Turtle says, Brittany Griner was traded for the Merchant of Death. Victor, what was his name? Victor. I know. We've talked about him on here before. Thanks, AutoPen, says Turtles. That was ridiculous. Let's see. Nevada said you need fire breaks at least twice as wide as the trees are tall. Thing is, none of this is going to happen with a leftist government, because the narrative is too valuable to them. They don't want to stop the fires. That's the only explanation at this point, because they've had plenty of opportunity to deal with it, and they don't want to. I think for obvious, cynical, insane reasons. Let's see. Chef Rigo says, y'all Canadians are nuts. Yes. Canada is nuts. 100%. Can't deny it. It's just a fact at this point. Let's see. So, Canadian media bias. I got a special bookmark just for this. Let's see. Toronto Star. What are they saying? Let's see. Times are tough in Canada for everybody. What's the Toronto Star's take on it? Skyrocketing housing and grocery prices are disproportionately hitting Black families the hardest. Here's what is needed to fix. I can guarantee this is a bunch of woke shit, but it's disproportionately hitting Black families the hardest. It's hitting everybody hard. How about just everybody? How about that collective, right? This is what you get, right? This is what you get. So it's really just, on one hand, it works as just a distraction to distract away from the problems that their prime minister, Mark Carney, is causing. It's kind of to confuse the issue a little bit, right? In fact, maybe we'll bring this up. Let's bring this up. It probably won't let us, probably behind a paywall, but let's see. Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay. I don't know. I wonder if, hold on a second. I wonder if this is a problem that can be solved, actually. Hold on. Let me try something. 1 second. I'm definitely not giving my money to the Toronto Star, I can tell you that much. Well, by some miracle, I seem to have found this article. All right. Hold on. Here we go. So from the Toronto Star, skyrocketing housing or grocery prices are disproportionately hitting Black families the hardest. Here's what's needed to fix it. I haven't read this, but I'm going to guess it's totally retarded. While policymakers mull over solutions, Black Canadians continue to live the brutal reality of making impossible choices between shelter and sustenance. Why on earth, considering there's 2 billion people using food banks every month in Canada right now, that you need to write a divisive column like this, a divisive article like this? I mean, it's baffling. I mean, is this ideological capture? It sure looks like it, doesn't it? One would wonder why the nation is still grappling with these challenges in 2025. For Black communities, this is not just an offshoot of an economic downturn or an issue of affordability. It's about the deep racial inequities baked into Canada's housing, labor, and economic systems. These are just assertions. Like, these are just assertions based in nothing, right? These are just the truisms. These are the articles of faith for the progressive, the modern progressive, for the modern radical leftist, right? You don't need evidence. You don't need any data, right? You just say it because it must be, right? That's the world. Everything is a zero-sum game with a winner and a loser, oppressed, oppressor. It has to be, and that's always based on some, identity marker, right? They're not interested in even finding justification for any of this. They don't care. They already know the answer. A systemic failure. It's always a system, that dirty system, systemic failure that continues to suffocate this marginalized group. And the numbers tell a damning story. Okay. I'm not interested in any of this, right? How about just make Canada better for everybody? How about not trying to divide everybody up and cause more resentment than you're already causing every second of every day with every word that you ever print? People are getting sick of this. In fact, what is it saying in the comments? Forrest says, that's why I stopped being black. That's funny. Didn't know they had a separate minimum wage just for black people. Let's see. Matthew G says, is the answer gay race communism? That might be the best one. I've never noticed grocery stores having different prices based on someone's race. What kind of journalism do they teach in colleges? You guys sure are scraping the bottom of the barrel. Well, they teach race communism. That's just every subject now, right? So whatever it is, journalism, race communism. Fuck off with your dumb shit. Fuck off with your dumb shit. Yeah, I agree with that. It will never end. Let's see. Endless gaslighting from the media from Ryan Garrettson. Why the absence of a U.S. trade deal might be a good thing. Sure, it might be a good thing. Sure. That's why Mark Carney sold himself, and he was sold to us by the Globe and Mail and CBC and the rest of them as a guy who could handle Trump when was going to get that deal, right? That's what he was sold to us as, right? All of a sudden now, well, maybe we don't even need it. Maybe it's better to not have one. Just give it up, guys. Give it up. They're not going to. They're going to continue to try and gaslight the public. CTV outright lying to Canadians today. Sheinbaum clearly said the free trade agreement that is in place is good enough. No other deals were needed to be made. Well, that's Gloria Sheinbaum, the president of Mexico. Let's see. So, Carney thought it'd be a great idea to try and get a separate trade deal with Mexico, which definitely wouldn't screw up Mexico's deal with the United States, obviously. Let's see. Predictably, she said, there's no need for a bilateral trade deal with Canada. Obviously. CTV News' take on it was Mexico seeks more trade with Canada in face of Trump tariffs. Geez, I wonder if that's misleading to the point of just being total and utter bull. I wonder. I think we know the answer, don't we? I think we know the answer. Let's see. Brookfield sees nearly $1 billion second quarter profit compared to last year. How about that? I wonder what could have happened. What good fortune could have befallen Brookfield, Mark Carney's old company? I wonder. It's weird, right? It's weird. I mean, Mark Carney's doing so well now, Prime Minister of Canada, and Brookfield is suddenly their profits are skyrocketing for some reason. I mean, what? Wow. They're lucky. How lucky is that? Wow. Let's see. Brookfield sees nearly $1 billion second quarter profit compared to last year. Things are looking up for Carney's former company, Brookfield Asset Management Limited, which saw its second quarter profits increased by close to $1 billion compared to last year. Man, that's so lucky. Things are looking up for Prime Minister Carney's. Okay, yeah, we already did that. The company boasts over 55 billion US in assets worldwide. Oh, well, this is interesting. Carney held 6.8 million in options with the company as of December 31st, which he placed into a blind trust upon winning the Liberal leadership race. So I guess it's just really lucky for everybody all around, right? I mean, Carney gets to be prime minister, and he gets richer, and Brookfield does really well. What good fortune. Sure. Under the Woke Canada tab, Pierre Poilievre posted this: holding a worship concert in a church gets an immediate police swarm, fines, and censorship. A Jewish father violently assaulted in front of his child. This happened in Montreal. Police delays and almost 24 hours of silence from the Liberal government. They wouldn't want to upset his voter base, right? What is happening to our country? It's being taken over by radical leftists, by race communists. That's what's happening. I can answer that question. It's being taken over by lunatics, like the people who did this from J.J. McCullough. I don't think this new name is going to catch on. What's the new name? They're renaming everything to these weird pseudo-indigenous names in Canada. Let's see. So it's whatever the fuck this is square. So what is this? So there's an S with a V on top, an X, and then a little W up there, and then it looks like a teepee, and then you got an upside down backwards E, but then you've also got like regular E's there, right? You've got an actual 7, like an actual 7 in this. Why is there a number in it? How is this making any sense? How is anybody supposed to pronounce any of this? This is woke dysfunction at its finest. It's just outright insanity, is it not? It's that square north of the Vancouver Art Gallery. Whatever that is, unpronounceable name square. Like, this isn't. How does this happen? How does this happen? Oh, it's just a bunch of crazy kids in Berkeley. With crazy ideas. They'll grow out of them. No, they won't. And they didn't. They didn't grow out of them. Now they're doing this. I mean, this is like the least of it, right? They're also like doing medical gender experiments on children, for God's sakes. You've got actual communists taking over cities. And then you got this as well. I mean, this is just, it's a crime against sanity, right? It makes no sense to do this. This makes no sense to anybody. Please explain to me how this makes sense. Somebody explain to me how this makes sense, how this isn't just totally and utterly dysfunctional. Like, things are supposed to have a use, right? A use. Like, they're not supposed to be impossible, right? This is impossible. Nobody knows what this means. Well, you're a tourist. Meet me at, let's see, S with a V on top, X, W, but up and small, and then TP, upside down, backwards E, N, upside down, backwards E, Q, X, W, T, L, E, 7. No, not like SEVEN, just the numeral 7. Aliens are laughing at us. They're laughing at us. They're just waiting. They're waiting to see how much crazier we can get before they just like blow up the earth. This is Canada. This is Canada. This is what happens when you're not allowed to do anything sane, because it's mean. It's mean. Let's see. Turtle says, I still have hope for Newfoundland. I always wanted to go there when I was a kid. I'm not sure where it's at now. Well, I think if you like East Indians, you'll have a great time there. If you like curry, I think you'll have a great time. That's just anywhere in Canada now, by the way. Although I think actually like in Newfoundland and PEI and Nova Scotia, I think it's still actually a fairly high percentage of a higher percentage of old stock Canadians, which ironically means they still vote Liberal. Nevada says, I just want Greenland. Trump's working on it. He's working on it for you, Nevada. Don't worry. Give him time. Let him cook. Nevada says, maybe Trump will tell Putin, you take Ukraine, and we'll take Greenland. We'll take Greenland. We'll take it. We'll take all their beautiful ice. Beautiful ice there. The best ice in Greenland. Izzy says, wish I was black, then maybe someone would care about how hard life is for me. It's all top down. It's not regular people. It's all top down, right? It's the Toronto Star informing its readers that this is what they're to be concerned about today. Not really care about, right? And not do anything that would actually affect their lives in any meaningful way day to day, but just that this is what they're supposed to be virtue signaling about today. Forward it to your friends so that they know that you're virtuous as well. Chef Rico says, I think being facetious here, is it because of Canada's long history of slavery? Yeah, it's interesting. There was no slavery in Canada because it was outlawed before Canada was a country. Now, before then, there had been a very small and brief amount. We're talking like a few hundred people, I think, that were black. But slavery was endemic across Canada with the indigenous population, as it had been from time immemorial. Since they first got there, they were enslaving each other. That was the real slavery problem. And that had to be abolished by the British as well. So you'd think they'd maybe thank the British Empire for that, but, let's see. Explain the slave. Turtle says, explain the slavery in Canada as opposed to every other country in the world. Well, I just did. So there we go. Let's see. Izzy says, it's just hate for white people. Yep, there's a lot of that. And it's all top down as well. All right. All right, I'm going to skip to the end because we got to get through this. We're 2 hours in already. Yikes. I said it was going to be a short one. I guess it's not going to be that short. Let's see. Pocahontas Square, she says. Maid Square. I don't think it says Pocahontas Square. I don't think it says that. I'm not sure what the hell it says because it's indecipherable. All right. So where are we at now? We've done Mark Carney, Brookfield. Is there anything else on Mark Carney here? All right, we've already done that. Okay, we've done that. We've done Polyev here. All right. And we're on the last bookmark. China is now building small, affordable homes that you can buy at Walmarts in the USA. Buy an acre of land with some friends and put a few of these on there. Nothing says stability like owning your own home with no loans. So let's take a look. Now, you have to remember, they're from China, so they're probably made out of 80% depleted uranium. So it probably does glow at night.
鞋子进水了，哇！吓我一跳，幸好我这房子装了避雷装置。小杜，你说，我要洗澡啦。好的。啊，舒服。 还是待在家里看电影最舒服。
So it's not exactly my idea of a dream home. I could see, like, if you had the money on, in a different time where you could just buy like a cheap plot of land somewhere, which apparently is not possible anymore, even in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, connecting like a few of those things and having like a summer place. I could see something like that. It's not exactly a dream home. I wouldn't want to raise a family in that, would you? That's, you need a place, and yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of cool, right? It's kind of cool. I could see as like, in like your 20s kind of thing, like you're just getting a start, and like, I could see something like that. But again, you'd only be dealing with like the value of the property in terms of equity, right? So interesting, though. Interesting. Let's see. Trudeau Survivor says Tina Engine would have done a better job selling that shit box. Nevada says more like a camper. Chef Rico says, wow, they invented a single wide. All right. What was this one? Dances with Moron Square from Chef Rico. That's a pretty good one. Rosie's got off to make sandwiches. Oh, dear. Let's see. It's a good thing to do. It's a very decent thing to do to make sandwiches. But I agree that Tina Engine would have done a better job selling that. See, my very complete camper. Rosie says, did I see they are selling these little houses at Walmart? Buy at Walmarts in the US. I don't know. I guess so. I'm guessing they're not actually in the Walmart. Maybe they have like a brochure or something. I don't know. But again, they're made in China too, so they're probably crap. And it's probably full of microphones and cameras too. They go straight back to the Chinese Communist Party. Let's see. Turtle says, Ma'am Danny, that's Zoran Mamdani, the future commie mayor of New York City, stated here that he was black on his college application, and Elizabeth Warren was native. Yeah. Why would they? It's so baffling to me that they would give up. I mean, Mamdani could easily pass for like Portuguese or something. Why would he give up that precious, precious white privilege? And Elizabeth Warren, too. They got all that wealth of white privilege. Right? Why would they give that up? Mamdani easily could have passed for Italian. Why would they give up on all of that potential white privilege? It just makes no sense. Turtle says, I think we should look into the compound that Mamdani's family owns in Uganda and surrounded by the poorest of the poor. And then he comes back and says, defund the blue, and I'm dictating. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow for the Rumble Premium stream. All right. Nevada says, Little House comes with 2 free robots. All right. Let's see. Mike Netter, a State Department of Fish and Wildlife sends a letter to a home landowner asking for permission to access a creek on his property to document the decline in a certain species of unheard of frogs. The property owner's response is the second letter is epic. Let's save this for tomorrow. We're going to save that one for tomorrow. Let's see. I am a failure. Google AI develops depression. Engineers are rushing to cure it. We'll save this one for tomorrow too. I'm kind of tired. How about this? Because these ones are interesting and I want to be able to give them full attention and full energy. And I'm feeling like, we still got a bunch to do, and I'd rather save them for when I can do a better job for you guys. Let's take a look here. This is fun. And this is very easy for me too.
Yeah.
feel that. I could feel that. Okay, that's what kids do, though. I did the same thing. This is funny. We didn't watch this one yet, did we? I don't think we watched this. Let's watch it. Even if we did watch it, we'll watch it again. This is a good one.
My childhood kept days of yeah. At that point, Jenna called finally. She went to Jenna and was like, "Well, Jen, it's a little disconcerting to know."
We've seen actually some really good clips from female comedians lately. And I think it's because they've gotten off. There was that trend. What was her name? That one they were trying to push on us, Amy something, the blonde. She won like America's Best Comic or something like that. The TV, the competition on the TV. What's her name again? What's her name, chat? Amy the blonde. She was in that Trainwreck movie. They were trying to push us on her. They were trying to push her on us as being like the next big thing. It didn't really work out. Amy Schumer. That's right. Thank you, Trudeau Survivor. Now, she started off that trend of like where every female comedian was just talking about how disgusting their vagina was. Do you remember that? That went on for years. It just, you had this plague of female comedians. And the whole thing was just talking about how disgusting their vaginas were and what sluts they were. That was the whole thing. It was actually kind of funny and shocking at first. It worked, but then it was just like 5 years of nothing, like of just my vagina stinks jokes. It was gross. It just got really gross. So they seem to have gotten off that now. And we're actually getting some clips of some female comedians that are actually funny. Some actually good jokes. For a while there, I was just like, man, women are not funny. Like these jokes about their vaginas. I mean, it was kind of funny at first, but it's been like years. Stop doing that. So anyway, she's funny. We'll keep an eye out for her. She's good. I wish they would tell us like who these people are, right? When they post these. It's, I guess, Kelsey Cook. Kelsey Cook at Kelsey Cook Comedy. There you go. We'll keep an eye out. I wonder if there's any more clips of her. Probably the next clip would probably be her talking about how disgusting her vagina is. Probably. Maybe they're not fully off that train yet. All right, what's going on here? Ow! Let's watch it from the start. Oh. I don't know. You guys send this shit to me. You guys send this shit to me. I just play it. You send it, I play it. All right. Women going on a weekend trip. Weekend trip. What is this? How did this happen? What's going on? That's not real. I mean, it's kind of real, but I don't know. How did that happen? What is this? What is this from? Because that's too big. That suitcase is too big. Way too much stuff in there. All right. Let's see. What are you guys saying? Yeah, that was funny, right? I already buried her. That was good. She's very funny. Spambot says, never heard of Amy Schumer. You'd recognize her if you saw the picture. Turtle says, gross. I'm not saying that, Chef Rika. There's some things even I won't say. Let's see. JDL says, just be funny. Exactly. They all turned into like weird, gross shock jocks for a while, and it was a bad trend. Let's see. Spambot says, my ex-wife packs like that. They all do. They all do. Let's be honest with ourselves. We can say it. Saving this one for tomorrow. Saving that one for tomorrow. Let's see. What's going on here? We need more cops like him. Let's take a look. I think this has been around a little while, but let's take a look.
No, I'm not who you're expecting, but your driver got arrested for care. So I figured I'd complete the DoorDash for you. Take care. Thanks. No, I'm not.
That's pretty classic. The DoorDash driver got arrested for a few things. That's a good one. I'm sure I've seen that like a year or two ago, but it's a good one. That's a classic. Tiny Pomeranian chases down a black bear out of its home after the bear broke in and started wandering around. Now, these little dogs, normally what they do is they act really brave from behind a door, and then if the second that there might be any actual danger to them, they are immediately super cowardly. But this one not. Look, he's very proud of himself, actually. Let's take a look. Hey, he earned it. He earned that. He earned that boss feeling because that dog is a boss. He's a boss. He defeated the bear. He actually defeated the bear. Yeah, he deserves that. Nobody can say anything to that dog. He earned it. JDL says, how you doing, JDL? Oh, dear. I can't say this. I can't possibly say this. This is a family show. I can't say tranny fluid meant something different in my day. Ugh. I couldn't say that. I couldn't say that. Oh, dear. You guys are awful. Awful. Let's see. Nevada says they found my wife's suitcase. All right. Hope she's not watching right now. She'd be really hurt. Let's see. Trudeau Survivor says, I was looking at WestJet flights. There's an ultra basic ticket that doesn't allow a carry-on. When did that become a thing? Really? Like not even like just like a backpack or something? That's crazy. It became a thing years ago, Spambot says. I didn't know that. And I thought that, you know what? I thought that in Europe they had that. Maybe even like flights where you have to stand, actually. But that's crazy. Like, does just like a backpack count as a carry-on, I guess? Because you could have like a backpack. Whenever I fly, which is not often these days, and I avoid it like the plague, but it would be like you could have like the small little suitcase, you know what I'm talking about, and then like a backpack, and that was fine. Spambot says, if it fits under the seat in front, it's okay. Alrighty. Got it. Although I'd be happy to never get on a plane. I've taken lots of flights in my life. Many, many, many flights. I'd be very happy to never go to another airport for the rest of my life. Very happy. I'd rather drive. Unless I got to go to, unless it's like, like a 4-day drive or something, then probably, even then I might just think, well, I'll make a little vacation of it, big road trip. Well, I guess a 4-day drive would get you right across Canada. Let's say a 2-day drive. Bambot says knapsack that fits under the seat is okay. Well, that's not too bad, Dan. If it's a short trip. All right, fuck around and find out. Let's check this out. So that siren, I'm guessing that's this car here that we're from their perspective of. Let's go. Yikes, that's biting it about as hard as you can bite it. That's really bad. Really bad. Yikes. Scary stuff. What is this? I hesitated to show this one because I don't want to see animals getting hurt, but you guys send it in. I got to play it. Let's take a look. Oh my God. I'm assuming these animals are okay afterwards. We're going to assume they're okay. Oh, he stepped on his own trunk. Yikes.
Get the fuck out of here. Oh no.
Just right through the rail there. That's hilarious. How did that even happen? Like, what? How is there? What? Why is there a horse there on that? How does that make sense? Oh. If I was that panda with those people laughing at me, I would have immediately thrown my shit at those people. Immediately. Whoa.
Oh no.
No. Oh.
Oh shit! Oh, he let it fall.
What?
No, he didn't fall.
Oh. How did it get up there? What is going on?
Hey, come here.
Okay, well, that last one wasn't too bad. Not too bad. I'm going to assume that they were all okay in the end. What are you guys saying? Let's see. Let's see. Spambot says, my land with the plane is still less than 50% of my total takeoff. So skydiving? That takes some guts. That takes some balls. Good for you. Jeffrico, I would rather John Madnett. JDL says, how's Canadian Air Canada? Air Canada, my understanding is it's getting worse and worse. I haven't flown on it in a long time. Chef Rico says they euthanized all of them, you monster. No, they didn't. Stop saying that. Stop saying that. Rosie says, I cannot watch the animals breaking. I do not watch America's Funniest Home Videos either. Is America's Home Videos just basically people being hit in the balls with a football? I think that's what it is. Let's see. All right. Those animals were okay, everybody. Those animals were okay. They were all fine. They all made it. Let's see. So this is a Russian with a bear. So the Russians, they just have a thing about bears. Meanwhile, in Russia.
Кто разыгрался? Это что за девчонка такая? А? Девчонка такая. Кто? Кто разбесился? Кто? Лапки, 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 лапки.
I mean, that thing will probably still be in their house in like 5 years, right? Eventually, it will eat them, though. They always do eat you eventually because they're bears. Let's see. This one we'll save for tomorrow. It's a good one. We need some good content for tomorrow. What's going on here? What does the winner get? Well, let's take a look. So that guy, that Chinese guy, is hitting that guy with a belt. Now this guy's hitting this guy with a belt. And they got these things clamped to their ears. And what's that hanging in them? Oh, I guess there's lines there, so they can't go over the line. This looks like a terrible game. I would never play this game. Actually, I've changed my mind. It's awesome. It's awesome. If I could have placed a bet there somewhere, I would have done it. Chef Rigo says, better than pickleball. Better than pickleball. I agree. Let's see. Spambot says, Air Canada nickname is Scare Canada. I don't want, with all this DEI shit going on everywhere, like, I don't want to get on a plane anymore. I'd rather just drive. Now, driving is bad because the new Canadians are driving, they're a big part of the trucking industry now. And they're kind of scary too. So even just driving on the highway now is kind of scary because you don't know what the hell they're going to do. But I still prefer that because at least I've got some measure of control. I still prefer that to getting onto, DEI airlines. Let's see. Rosie says, that is horrible. Not watching Back in a Few. About Fodder says, what the fuck? I don't know. Maybe this will be Canada's national sport in 20 years. God knows. Female umpire ejects player for something he did in her dream last night. Babylon B. We're not going to read the whole article. Let's see. That might be it for me tonight. We might save. Oh, hold on a second. Let's check this one out. Raccoon said, get in, get the crunchies, get out. That's what he's doing. Raccoons are funny. Raccoons are pretty funny. People have them as pets sometimes, but apparently they get a little nasty when they get to a certain age. They get a little nasty. Shall we watch a bit of this? So Candace Owens, I liked, when she first came out, really smart, really sharp. I quite liked her. It's not like I dislike Candace Owens, but she seems to have jumped the shark a little bit. It does not sound good, at least according to Robert Barnes, like Barnes and Viva, who's, pretty accomplished lawyer. He's saying that she is super screwed. super screwed. And it's because she's not on the Brigitte Macron is a man, but she's also her brother, but she's also her husband's father stuff. I don't know. I don't want to get sold. I don't want to get sued too. But, you're hearing stuff like this. And it's not opinion. She's not saying it as opinion. She's saying it as fact. That apparently she's really screwed herself. That this lawsuit is not going to go well for her. So from, people whose opinion I would tend to trust on this stuff. So what is she saying here?
The more that I think about it, the more absurd it is. Now, the Trump administration, who purports to care about free speech, that was what they ran on. Of course, they're not doing any of that stuff anymore. They're creating DEI for Israel and pushing through laws to redefine anti-Semitism. But they pretended to care about free speech. And you had J.D. Vance, who went over there to Europe and gave a whole speech, tisk to all of you European leaders that are no longer listening to what your constituents want and are instead punishing them for their speech. If the majority of your constituents think something, you can't create laws and punish them. Right? That was kind of the gist of his speech. The markets have decided what they want, and now you're punishing these people. That's crazy, he said. America's going to be a leader. We don't believe in this. We won't support this. Then you have a literal European leader that is basically saying F you to the American Constitution, right? Emmanuel Macron and Brigitte are saying, you know what? We don't like that podcaster in America. And we are going to launch a lawsuit that's never been launched before, an unprecedented.
Do you know what? She's really got a point here, actually. She's really got a point here. I mean, is it acceptable to have, some dirty, French cheese communist like Macron suing an American citizen for something they've said, for defamation or whatever, libel, whatever it is? And I wonder about that. That doesn't seem very right to me. That doesn't seem like something you should be able to do. So I think she's got a point here. I mean, it kind of feels like she's kind of realizing that, ooh, I might be in a bit of trouble with this lawsuit. Definitely. But I think she's got a real point here. This doesn't seem quite right to me.
Lawsuit to impoverish her for speaking. And both J.D. Vance and Trump have not issued a statement. In fact, where are the journalists even asking them to make a statement? Okay, a state leader is speaking about your constituent and launching a lawsuit and saying you're going to impoverish them for executing their First Amendment right. Where are you? If you are Trump, the first thing you should have done, if you purport to care about America and our Constitution, as you're supposed to be the person that's defending that day in and day out, you would come out and you would say, I don't even know whether I believe that she's a man or woman. Doesn't matter, right? I didn't watch the series. Fair. He didn't watch the series. He could even say, like he said to me on the phone, that I looked at her real close on the Eiffel Tower and it looked like a woman to me. Okay, you can say all those things, but you should say it's unacceptable. I'm a leader of this country. It is unacceptable that this leader would threaten the First Amendment in any way.
I think she's got a point there. I do. I think that she should have just said opinion. This is my opinion all along, and not said, no, this is fact. That was a mistake. But she's got a point here. Should somebody in France be able to sue an American for speaking? Right? Should those laws carry over? I think she's got a hell of a point here. What are you guys saying? Trudeau Survivor says, I bet Candace will come out ahead. She's good at monetizing herself. Well, yeah. Radio Streamer says she lost her mind. She also uses her psychic as her source from what I hear. Yeah, she seems to have gone off the rails and jumped the shark a little bit. I will say that, which is kind of saddens me a bit because she's very smart, very sharp, very dynamic, and she's been saying stuff, the last couple of, I've not been following closely by any means, but you just kind of see little things here and there, and some of it I'm like, I'm not getting along with that. But Radio Streamer says, I'm sure it's unprecedented to have a person say your wife is a man for months on end. It's not just that though. There's claims about murder and conspiracies and she's her brother and all kinds of stuff. Streamer says, yes, she is on that train. Rosie says, I hope we do not have the same psychic. Just kidding. She says, just kidding. That's funny. All right. Streamer says he's really tired. Just be listening mostly. That's okay. We're going to be shutting this down pretty quick anyway. Let's see. Streamer says, remember, free speech does not include freedom from slander charges. If they can prove damages, then they have they can legitimately sue her, even though our laws. I just wonder about, should it be across countries though? Like, should it be an international thing? That's what I wonder about. I think she's got a point on this. I mean, obviously the law says that they can, but it seems like it's maybe a bad idea. So I don't know. I mean, the thing is, if they actually can, and it seems like they can, I mean, they've got her dead to rights. Right? She made a bunch of super crazy claims and was adamant that they were not just her opinion, that they were fact claims, they were objectively true. So this is a good one, but it's kind of long. We'll save that for tomorrow too. There's certain ones that I want to be still sharp for, you know? We'll save that for tomorrow. Not sure what's going on here, but it's a crab riding a jellyfish. Let's see. Look at that. So I've never seen that before. And it's like swimming on top. It's like guiding the crab. It's like riding it and guiding it. I don't know. Is that a thing? Like, has anybody ever seen that before? I've never seen that. Weird. Victor Davis Hansen. You know, we'll save that for tomorrow too. We've gone 2 hours and 30 minutes tonight. I think that's, we got this too. What's going on here? I think we save it for tomorrow. I think we keep this one short and sweet. I said it'd be about 2.5 hours. We're keeping to that. Yeah, I think we're good. You guys, anything special you want to see tomorrow, put it in the, send it over on X. Memes. Send lots of memes. We love the memes. Beautiful memes. Let's see. Streamer says, not that they would ever care, but should we be able to sue China for IP theft? Well, I don't know, actually. You'd think so. International law? Absolutely. Thank you. I absolutely think you should be able to sue if you're trying to damage someone else's reputation, not just to make money. Well, I guess it is. The case will be in an American court, so it'll be American slander law, I guess. So I don't know. I don't know. I mean, you know, there's points for, points against, but JDL makes a great point here. Hit that like, everybody hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. You can see all of my beautiful videos. Don't let the gatekeepers control you, right? It's what they fear most. It's you taking control over your own life, over your own decisions, what you watch, right? If you subscribe to the channel, well, then next time you go on, you'll see my videos. If you don't, you'll never see them again. You'll never know. You'll never hear from me again. Right? They're not going to show you. You think they're going to show you my stuff? I don't think so. The gatekeepers, you think they're going to show you my stuff except by accident? I don't think so. So you subscribe, you take that power out of their hands. You take it out of their hands and you take it yourself, right? And you make the decisions from now on. You could see, Radio Baloney's on again. Or he just posted a clip video or something. I'm going to watch that. I'm not going to watch it. Guess what? I get to choose. Take it out of their hands, the gatekeepers' hands. Take it out of their hands. Take control of your own life. Like the stream. Subscribe to the channel. It's nature's greatest miracle, as everybody knows. All right. I think that's it, you guys. I think I'm done. It's a Sunday night. It's a short Sunday night stream. We did a long one on that Friday night. And we're going to be doing, I don't know, probably at least a couple hours tomorrow. And then we're going to also do Thursday. So let's just keep it short and sweet tonight. Maybe I'll do one more ad read. Let's see. Will they let me? Will they let me do another beautiful ad read? I don't know. Let's see. I like the cooler ad. I like that one. Let's go for it. All right, outdoor crew. If you're into fishing, camping, anti-communist activities, or getting off the grid, meet your new best friend, the Hunter Orange 25-quart cooler from Candace Sports. That's right. This isn't your average cooler, folks. It's roto-molded. Roto-molded. That's the best way. It's roto-molded for max durability. And as everybody knows, roto-molded is best. Bear-proof, communist-proof, and 20% lighter than other brands. So it goes easy on you. It's easy to haul whether you're deep in the backcountry or just setting up at the dock. That feels so much better on my back. That's what you're going to say to yourself. You'll get up to 3 days of ice retention. Beautiful. We love beautiful ice. Thanks to thick, high-performance insulation, which is the best kind. You want to check for that. That means cold drinks, fresh food, and fewer ice runs, whether you're chasing muttons offshore or posting up at a campsite. It's the best of all worlds. Best part, it's 40 to 50% cheaper than the big-name coolers, but still built to perform season after season. This is almost too good. I almost can't believe it, but I know that it's true. And like all Candace Sports name brand gear, it's proudly made in the good old USA. Use code RUMBLE at checkout for 10% off your order today. Here's what you want to do, folks. Go to CaddisSports.com. That's CADDIS Sports.com. Go grab the Hunter Orange 25-quart cooler and keep your next adventures ice cold. That's the way an ad ought to be read. JDL says Canada Dry Ginger Ale is good. Radio Streamer says, remember, call me hate. I got some in there. I got some in there. Not that much. I know. I admit it. Not that much. You're going to chastise me. I didn't get that much. Radio Streamer says, I know I need energy tomorrow. Always need energy. And call me hate. It's not Tuesday. Let's see. All right. I think that's it. Now you guys, it looks like you guys are talking about food again, so I guess that's my signal. All right. Chat, you guys were in fine form this evening. You made me laugh several times. And fortunately, I didn't get a cramp this time laughing. So that was good. Yeah, everyone, thanks a lot for showing up. If it wasn't for you guys, there'd literally be no point in doing this. So thank you for that. And everybody have a great night. Great start to your week, and I will see you guys all tomorrow, 6 o'clock Pacific time, 9 o'clock Eastern time. See you then.